that is why I did not put the new stuff on. You see the smoke? You see how the oil's kicking back? See how it's all filling up now? See the valleys? See how clean it is now? Woo! Man, YouTube. You guys see it? Oh man. Oil in all of them. See that? Beautiful. Everything is adjusted. I just wanted it to try to catch it and give you guys a few seconds before I cut it off. But everything is adjusted. It's pumping oil like it's supposed to. Woo! Alright, YouTube. It's time to pull off these manifolds back off. Clean this up. Pull out these wires. Throw the headers on. Cut you guys back on. Alright, YouTube. So I'm starting a conversion to convert this car to a non-computer controlled car. So, see, even the inside light works now. So, for those of you that don't know, the G-body computer is right here in the passenger kick panel. So all of this is going to be removed because I don't need this. But that's not really the point of this particular video. This particular video, you guys remember when I was working under the dash, cleaning up the wiring, they had that switch. And I told you guys that there was a switch that was turning the glove box light on and off. Remember that? Now I got it working properly. But you guys remember that? So anyway, I found this switch. This switch says 12 volt oscillating fan. So I was like, what does this do? I didn't see it because I worked on the other side. But I want to show you guys something. Hold on, let me cut the light off. That's right, YouTube. They wired up a switch to cut the light on under the dash. You see? So that means that somebody very well could have, let me turn the other light back on. Somebody very well might have wired up a switch for the glove box light. I don't know what the previous owner was doing to this car, YouTube, but he should have contacted me. This is no good, YouTube. You see this? Go through all this trouble for this? Oh well. Alright, let me get back to work. I'll cut you guys back on. Alright, YouTube. So I'm sitting here with the Hell Camino project. You guys know how I always give these projects names. So I have dubbed this project the Hell Camino. And that's because this project has been working me. I'm spending way too much time trying to get this thing to run like it's supposed to. But, you know, it's got to be right. So it's got to be done. Anyway, before I get into the updates, I want to take a minute to acknowledge some subscribers. So I have this guy who's a subscriber, long-time subscriber, and he informed me that him and his wife and their 2 daughters all watch my videos, like regularly. Like they sit there and every time I post, they pull it up on the TV and they all sit there and watch the videos. And his 2 daughters apparently really like it when I say, oh my. And then they start running around the house saying, oh my. So, because this was brought to my attention, I would like to take this time to acknowledge this guy and his beautiful wife and their 2 daughters. So the daughters' names are Luna, who is 8 years old, and Soleil, who is 4 years old. That's right. An 8-year-old and a 4-year-old are watching Grant 7 videos. And I actually really appreciate that. But I appreciate it for a couple of different reasons. One of the reasons why I watch it is because as crazy as I talk in these videos, I really do my best to keep it clean. Because just for this reason, an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old is watching, you know, we don't know who's watching our videos. So the fact that, you know, this family is comfortable watching my videos as a family thing is really important to me, and that's actually going to help me do my best to remain keeping these videos clean. But the other thing I want to say is, I mean, at 8 years old and at 4 years old, I don't know, I mean, I don't have any kids, so I don't know how much they're actually really soaking in what I'm saying. But I do know and I believe that these kids his daughters are going to really remember the family sitting around watching car videos and gratefully, you know, Grant 7 videos. But the fact that they're, I guess, a car family that's getting into it, or maybe he's trying to get his daughters into the culture, which is important. You know, guys, I mean, a lot of you guys out there got kids, so it's important to keep your kids interested. And speaking of keeping your kids interested, you know, my man Sean Schaefer with the Team Schaefer, you know, he got his daughters working with him as well. That's important, man. That's a good look. So everybody out there that's, you know, introducing your kids to this business, to this culture, just for the love of cars, even if they never work with cars, just to be able to bond with your kids over something, thankfully it's cars, is a good thing, you know. So I appreciate everybody out there that's watching. You guys see, you hear this phone? That's why I don't get no work done. I'm not answering it. So, hold on, YouTube. It's rude. Hold on. So, just the fact that everybody's watching these videos and you guys are doing things with your kids in the videos. I mean, YouTube is a great forum for that, because in the future, when we're old and when we're gone and these kids have grown up, they're still going to be able to relive this moment. So Soleil and Luna are going to be able to, one, be able to hear their name being mentioned in the video from 2016, and still be able to remember the time when they watched this video with their parents and some car guy said their name on video. So anyway, I say all of that to say, everybody that watches, I appreciate it. Those of you with kids, keep up the good work. And I can't promise I won't talk crazy, because I absolutely am going to keep talking crazy. But I will keep it clean. I will always keep it clean, so other families that do watch my videos continue to do so. Like I said, even my parents watch, so I try to keep it clean. You know, now off camera, whole different story, especially with this project. So anyway, let's get back to business. So I've already done most of the conversion. You guys see this pile of carnage on the floor? So this is everything I've already removed. So the harness is out. The computer's already been removed. Let me tell you guys what really tied me up. This thing. You guys see this manifold? Look at that. Do you know, how do you even get this bolt in? You see this bolt? You see how it's bent? How do you get this bolt in? I had to chip away and cut away at this manifold to get this thing so I had enough room to screw this thing out. How do you even get this in? I don't know how they did it. I don't know who did it. But look at this bolt, YouTube. And then next to that bolt, the bolt that was here, is this bolt. Look at the head of this bolt, YouTube. Had to get that out with vice grips. Working way too hard, YouTube. You see, this manifold is trash now, but you guys see? Come on. Just to get a manifold off. Anyway, and you can even see the sludge on this distributor. Tell you, the sludge is real, people. The sludge is real. So anyway, All this extra stuff has been eliminated. We don't need it. The computer's here. We don't need it. Don't need these wires. Don't need all this stuff. Remember this thing? I hated this thing. Don't need that. So anyway, motor's over here clean. What I did was I pulled the plugs because I think he told me that they changed the plugs, but I doubt it. But anyway, I bought a new set of plugs, so I'm getting ready to throw a fresh set of plugs in. It's just easier to do it while everything is out, so I'm going to throw a fresh set of plugs in. But everything is cleaned up. It's ready. Also on this side, you guys will be able to see how I relocate the oil switches, because you guys never really get to see it because of the, hold on, let me get more light for you, just in case it's dark. But you guys get to see how the oil switches are relocated. It's still coming out the same location, but it's relocated and moved, so now it'll clear the headers with no problem. All right, hopefully, you know, that helps somebody. So anyway, the headers are off. And as you continue to watch this video, you will understand. All right, YouTube? Cut you guys back on in a minute. All right, YouTube, it's 7:30 at night. Y'all hear that noise? Y'all see that smoke? That is the El Camino running for the first time without any of that computer controlled stuff. It is running off of no computer. See the smoke? I'm going to take y'all inside. It's going to be a little loud. What I'm doing is I'm letting it run. It's been running for about 5 minutes. I'm going to let it run a little longer because, ooh, look at that smoke. Because what I'm trying to do is cure that header paint. So let me take y'all inside. We're going to take a peek real quick. Running better already, YouTube! Running better already. Why is it going, YouTube? Hold on, let me let it run for a minute. I'll cut you guys back on in a minute, YouTube. Cut you guys back on. Nothing but headers. No exhaust. Nothing but headers. Open headers, YouTube. I had to come outside to get some fresh air before I die, YouTube. Anyway, y'all see it. It is clouding the shop up. That's what happens when you're trying to burn off exhaust paint inside. Anyway, YouTube, it's been running about 5 minutes. But you already hear the difference in the way it's running now compared to the way it was running before. Y'all know before, we didn't get anything. Hold on. We still got light, she still, look at it. Oh, she getting ready, YouTube. Car's getting ready. I'm making a whole lot of noise out here because it's running off straight open headers. Nothing else, just open headers, no exhaust at all. Nothing but the headers. Oh, wait. Woo! Woo! Oh, you guys see this? It burnt the paint off. Come on. Are you kidding me? I never used VHT before. I want you guys to see this. This thing has been running 10 minutes. It has burned off the paint. Are you kidding me? 10 minutes! Oh, YouTube. See, that's what kind of project this car has been for me. So, Ah, YouTube. Looks like, I don't know. Can't be that hot, YouTube. Only been running 10 minutes. Oh well. I get back to the drawing board. I cut you guys back on. Alright, YouTube. Now that the smoke is cleared, I'm sitting here staring at these headers, trying to figure out what went wrong. So, honestly, my best guess is that the paint that I used was old. Because I don't know how old this paint is. Like, when I picked up the car, he gave me the paint with the car. Now, I don't know if he bought the paint, you know, the customer. There's a good chance that when he bought these used headers, maybe the guy just gave him some paint to go with it. Maybe it's like, here, I was going to paint them, and you know how that goes. Because this is the right paint. Now, I've never used the VHT stuff before. I mean, I've painted exhaust and stuff, but I didn't use VHT. Not even sure which one I did use, but I never used the header paint. Anyway, on the can it says 1300 to 2000 degrees. There's absolutely no way that this car hit 1300 and definitely not 2000 degrees within 10 minutes. So I'm led to believe that maybe the paint was old. Because you guys saw the other video, how I prepped it, wire wheeled it, I scuffed it, you know. And it didn't chip off, it just burnt off. If it would have chipped off, I would have been like, you know, maybe it's the prep. But it just burnt off. So, gotta look into this, YouTube. My belief is that it's the paint. I had just gave this another coat right after I mounted it, only because the screws were kind of rusty. So I cleaned up the screws and I just gave that a coat. That's the reason that didn't burn off yet. That had a fresh coat. I did that just before I started it. So, it's interesting, YouTube. So, my belief is that the paint is old. I don't know. I'm going to ask him. I'll ask the customer. If he says he just bought it, then I got to explore another option. Maybe you guys can help me out and tell me what happened. I've never experienced this before. I mean, it's spray paint. You know, it's not, you know, but it's, yeah, it's, I don't know. It could be old. Anyway, let's go into the other side for a second, YouTube. So, on this side, you see things look a little better. See how clean this is now? Now, if you look, this side is still red. Now, the reason why I think this side held up is because it was a different can. I used a whole can on each side. So maybe the paint I used on the other side was older. I don't know. It's a whole lot of guessing, YouTube. I don't know. But everything else is cleaned up. The only thing I got to do is this, the battery cable. This is negative. I just got to shorten these cables. But you see all the other wires are gone. Even the computer wires are all gone, YouTube. See how much cleaner this looks? Looks good. Pay the spark plug wires no mind. They are not run in their position. This one got a little high. Got to see what it is. I don't know, YouTube. I got to look into this, YouTube. Car's running good. Especially to be just on open headers. Maybe the open headers had something to do with it. I don't know. But I definitely don't think it got higher. Matter of fact, we're going to check that. Let me cut you guys back on. Alright, YouTube. So after doing a bunch of research and doing some reading as to why this paint could have burned off, the only thing I was really able to find was that the red paint seems to have pretty bad reviews. A lot of people said the same thing. You know, they're like, listen, this thing smelled like burnt tacos and it burned off. So my belief is, I guess the red paint is kind of defective. Only people I could find online that seem to have liked the red paint were people who painted their barbecue pits or something with them. So anyway, I have pulled the headers off. The owner told me leave it alone. He says, listen, leave them on there, forget about it. We'll wrap them or something later on. I'm like, come on, man. It's G7. I cannot let this car leave here with those burnt paint headers. First time you raise the hood, every time you raise the hood, that's the first thing you're going to see. Keep telling people, man, my name is important to me. I'm absolutely not letting this car leave here with those headers. So the only reviews I could find that anybody had any kind of decent things to say about the VHT header paint was the black. The black and the silver. Now, I was going to paint them silver, but I went with a flat black instead. Now, I was going to do silver, but the thing about it, I felt like if I do this in silver and it burns, I'm going to be highly upset. So I said, if I do them in flat black and it burns, you know, maybe it will, maybe it won't, but it won't be as noticeable. So I said, I'll try that. And then it's like, if this burns, then I'm going to just pull them off, and I'm going with a totally different brand. So VHT, this is your last shot. If this doesn't work, I'm pulling this off, and I'm just going with a totally different brand. Or I'll take them off and wrap them. But I'm definitely not letting this car leave with burnt paint on the headers. See, everything is already cleaned up. All those wires are gone. There's nothing there. That's the positive cable. That's it. Nothing there. Shorten the battery cables. No more big bunches. See, now it's ready. Now, I even hit it with the wire wheel, clean all the mating surfaces. Now it's just bring the header in, bolt it up. This thing cannot tie me up like this. Look how clean this is right now. So now, hopefully, this paint works out. The black, you know, what people are saying is the black is okay. Because they saying if it is burned, it's hard to tell. So we'll see. But if I could tell, I'm taking them off. And I'm just going different. So, all right, I'll cut you guys back on when I get these mounted up. Wish me luck, YouTube. All right, YouTube, it's 5:38. So the car's been running about 8 minutes. And you hear the Hell Camino. So I'm getting ready to go back in and check on it right now. It's been running about 8 minutes. I'm baking that black header paint on right now. I've been trying not to stand in there with it. One, because it's smoky, as you can see. And two, because a watch pot never boils. So let me go in. Woo! Much better. Much better. Let's see what we got, YouTube. Much better. YouTube. Looks good to me. Man, woo! Look at the smoke, YouTube. Ridiculous. I'm gonna go outside. You know, I'm not one for dying over somebody else's car. So anyway, YouTube, it looks like the black header paint is better. You know, the last one burned off within the first 10 minutes. So I'm about to run it through another cycle. You got to let it sit, I think for like 10 or 15 minutes. I got to check that. And then run it through another cycle, then let it sit again and do another. But at least it survived the first cycle. So I'm going to tell you guys this. The way I showed you guys the painter header is still the correct way to do it. My advice, stay away from the red header paint. The black did much better, as you see. But we'll see what happens when I finish up with the rest of the cycle. I'll cut you guys back on in a minute. Alright YouTube, so we're going to call this segment the wrap up. So my end opinion is that the black definitely did do better than the red. The black is not perfect. I did notice a couple of little cracks. I got one more heat cycle to go through, so I guess we'll see how that one goes. The reason I'm not waiting because I want to kind of start uploading this video for you guys. So while it's doing the last cycle, this video will be getting uploaded. But from what I could tell, there's a couple of, you know, it's like little crack, little flakes. But because it's black, it's hard to tell. I mean, that's just me really looking at it. But it's presentable. So I'm going to leave it alone for now. I got a lot of other work to do. I'm not going to waste any more time on these headers. Unless it gets worse. On the last cycle, if it gets worse, then I got to pull them. But if it stays like this, then it's fine. Anyway, the mechanical side of this conversion has been done. The only thing I'm waiting on the transmission part so I can adapt that to work with the conversion. That's the last thing I have to do, and then the conversion is complete. Let me see. Well, pay no attention to this. This is my throttle bungee cord, because basically I'm waiting for the bracket to hook up the factory cable the way it needs to be. This is a Edelbrock Performer intake, so I have to get the bracket that works with that intake for this cable. That's it, YouTube. Oh, the phone, YouTube. Anyway, let me wrap this up. You guys see how much cleaner this is now? The whole hornet's nest is gone. I know some of you guys are like, you need to pull that out and smooth the firewall. The owner wants to keep it. He wants to keep the heat. He wants to keep AC. He wants to keep all of that. So it's not going to get too much cleaner. I'm waiting for the spark plug tiebacks. I want to be able to route the spark plugs much neater. You know, get them away from all of this stuff like this. And that's it. Under the hood will be pretty much wrapped up by the time I do that. So a few more parts, and then I'm going to call this engine done. It's running good, YouTube. It's running good. So by the time I get the throttle cable in, I'll be able to put this thing on the ground. And hopefully the transmission stuff will be in at the same time, that I can put this car on the ground. And then I can move it for the first time, but on its own power. But anyway, YouTube, that's it. I appreciate you guys watching. The next video, well, I'm not going to tell you what that is, but anyway, I appreciate you guys watching, man. Please continue to watch Grand 7 Auto Works at newcarsuck.com. Hey, Luna! Hey, Soleil! Oh, my. Ha ha!